So I've been hearing some conversations online lately about personal branding. And people want to grow a following. They want to get social media followers. They want to sell a book. They want to get started as a filmmaker. They want to get started doing something online as a side gig, or maybe they want to turn it into their whole job. And so we're told we need to start a personal brand. Now, as a person who teaches on a regular basis in organizational media and communications, including marketing, I recognize that brand is a necessary thing. Brand is a necessary thing for organizations. See, because an organization is a group of people who came together. Sometimes it was a founder with a vision and a mission. Sometimes it was a group of people collaborating. They came together and they had to figure out what this organization was and what to call it and how to communicate that to other people. So brand is completely appropriate if we're talking about an organization. That makes sense. However, the moment that we start talking about people, a brand, because it's a constructed identity that doesn't have to have anything to do with actual reality, we start running into problems. We run into problems because we start objectifying people. We turn them into a product or a service to be sold or traded or shared. We don't actually treat them like a person, like a human with a soul, with mind, will, and emotions, like a real person. We start to objectify them, and we start in branding personally, turning things into an illusion that's not grounded in the reality of who we are. So you could look at me, and you could say, Pettit, I hear you used to play basketball. I did. I played basketball a lot. But you can also look at me based on how tall I am and know that I'm not that fast. I'm not that strong. I can shoot a basketball pretty well, but I'm never going to play in the NBA. So regardless of how much I want to brand myself to be a great basketball player, the reality is that's not true. See what happens? We start to separate the illusion of the brand that we're creating, because gets us where we want to go, with the objective reality of, hey, you're under 6 foot, you're kind of slow, and you can't jump. No matter how much you want your brand to be about the NBA and playing professional basketball, the reality is it's never going to happen. So what happens to people when they start branding? The more they lean into this illusion, the more they get away from the real person. There's some celebrities and some famous athletes that you admire, and they do amazing things. And they have a brand because they're being sold. But the truth is, you don't really know them. You don't. If you sat down at coffee and asked them, what's the most embarrassing moment of your life? Or tell me about last Christmas, or what'd you do this morning for breakfast? Sure, they may be able to do that for an interview for People magazine. But the reality is, you haven't gotten to know the person, the real human behind this brand. So what's the alternative? Humans have reputations. We've had them time immemorial. Our ancestors had reputations. What's a reputation? It's grounded in my behavior and the things that I say and do and the reality of who I am. Do you have a reputation? People know you for doing certain things, saying certain things, looking a certain way. That's okay. Help people understand who you are, your reputation, what you're after. Because if you don't, and you try this branding thing, what you're going to start to realize is it's a very dehumanizing experience. You don't really know those famous people. It's dehumanizing because it turned them into an object. And the moment they're an object, you don't have to treat them like a person anymore. You don't have to think, hey, those words that you say online hurt their feelings, because they're just a celebrity. They're just an object for you to talk to, not a real person to be loved and cared for, who gets their feelings hurt and bothered. What am I saying? I want you to realize how dangerous it can be when we talk about personal branding to objectify yourself and create this illusion of a brand, when in reality, I think it's much more powerful for you to find and build a reputation around who you are and what you want to be known for, because that's what you do and that's the lived experience you have. Step in to the reality of your reputation and away from the illusion of a personal brand.